another episode of Lie, Cheat, and Steal, the podcast about liars, frauds, thieves, and bullshitters. Now, I'm your host, Pat Royce. We are a bi-monthly podcast, so we're dropping 2 episodes every month. You can listen to those wherever you listen to podcasts. If you like what you hear, come and find us online. We're on TikTok and Instagram and YouTube at Lie, Cheat, Steal Podcast. And if you really like what you hear and you want to hear some more episodes, like our entire back catalog of all our bonus episodes on Patreon, you can find us there at patreon.com/lie, cheat, and steal. Like I said, we've got all of our back episodes. We drop 2 more episodes every month, commercial free. Got a whole bunch more content to listen to and access to our Discord server where you can hang out with the chat gang or scam gang and chat about scams and scam about chats. That being said, I'm here with my co-host, as always, Kath Barbadoro. How you doing?
Hi, Pat. I'm okay. Our story today takes place in a place that is warm.
Nice. Hell.
I feel like hell. This is not on purpose, and it is no disrespect to this place. I feel like the Philippines are up to some shit lately, man. We've been doing a lot of Philippines stuff.
Yeah.
This is yet another Philippines story.
I look at that. So. That is indicative of a rising, growing global economy. That the scams are starting to come out of there. It's a country on the come up. Yeah, country on the come up. And like just the same way we exploited stuff like shaky governments on our come up. That's what they see. They see a bunch of fat idiots with like fucking full digital wallets and. I mean, it is what it is, man.
Yeah, I think you're right. Like the way that we saw all of these, our quote unquote colonies, like as resource rich, they see a bunch of soft, trusting, overly resourced people, and they say, we're smarter than them. We can take some of this.
Like we talked about in our Jamcarta episode, Jamtara. Jamtara. It was just like, when you're scrapping, you are a leaner version, and it's just like, we are not unlike the noble buffalo. You know what I'm saying?
Absolutely. And we should be hunted to extinction. They would be justified.
It's just going to be a giant pile of skulls, and all the skulls got 2 chins.
Yeah, man. Can't say we didn't earn it. But yeah, so this one, this is a story. Most of the research I did in this is from this article in Bloomberg by Brent Crane. It came out this summer, and it's about the quote author services industry. And the way that these firms scam self-publishing authors. So they go after people who want to be writers and do a lot of really shady stuff to milk them for a lot of money.
Oh man, they're going after the worst guy at every coffee shop.
Yeah, well, I think it's a lot of like rich people without a lot to do. Yeah. So they're like, I should write a memoir. You know what I mean? I think there are also like people who really do like it is their main career and they really do want to do it. And it's an industry that is so like, it's so hard to make money in.
Yeah.
And publishing is like, it's so threadbare right now. Like if you get any offer, you get so excited, people like really jump on it.
Yeah. I was my first interaction with a guy who's self-publishing was a guy that hung out when I was like 19. The girl I was dating worked at a coffee shop, and he was in there, and he was actually he was like a self-published author, and it was like basically some like centrist kind of like letters from an angry American or something like that. It was like, and he tried to be a little funny, and he was there the first time I did stand up. He did stand up for the first time, and he was like, well, I'm a Christian, so I'm gonna try to keep it clean. And he tanked on that in like a minute, and immediately flipped the stool upside down and was like, seating for 4 at a gay club.
Nice, just immediately like the panic, pulling the homophobia ripcord.
Yeah. It happened in like record time. I was like, God damn.
I know a couple people who've done it. I know my friend's mom is, she writes like paranormal romance and self-publishes. And then I also know a guy who actually made a lot of money when he was in college writing like that, like sci-fi supernatural romance novels under a pseudonym. And they sold well. Like he put them on Amazon and he did okay.
Yeah.
So you can make money at it,
Dude, that little middle class niche you find in like creative arts, like what are like brewery tours, where you're like, hey,
or a small Patreon.
yeah, a small Patreon, folks. Thank you guys so much. We're going to go to patreon.com/lie, cheat, and steal. You get access to our back catalog and ad-free episodes. Thank you.
But no, like the brewery tours too. Just finding your little space.
Yeah,
where you can, It's the best.
Yeah, you put food on the table, kind of a little bit. Like there's food, there's tables. They don't always meet together, but.
But yeah, so this is a thing that a lot of people engage in one way or another. But there are a lot of people who are very hungry for success. I mean, we did a whole episode about stand-up comedy scams that are like kind of similar, but these operate on like a grander scale and they've become really, really common. So that's what we're going to talk about today. So we're going to talk about one sort of big case of a firm like this to sort of bring us into this whole phenomenon. So there are like there are five main publishing houses. They're called the Big Five. It's Hachette, HarperCollins, Macmillan, Penguin Random House, and Simon and Schuster. Those are the big ones.
Yep.
Those are the ones where like they're for real.
Yeah.
They have all issued advisories being like, hey, people pretend to be us all the time and go after you for stuff. So like, don't, check where that email is coming from. Call us, because
Sheesh, boy, a real Simon and Schuster. Jeez Louise, I got taken for everything.
Exactly. Yeah. And so the way that they will work is they'll often say like, look, we have some deal for you, but like, you should, in order to make this as lucrative as possible, you should pay us for additional services like editing or marketing or things like that. So that's kind of like one way to do it, where they just misrepresent themselves as one of the Big Five. But self-publishing has become such a big thing that now there are places that people go to self-publish that now are trying to get people into these scams. So like, the way self-publishing is supposed to work, or like what that means, is that there are places that will print written work on demand. So you just order the copies, or you like set it up on Amazon and they print as they order, But the way they make the money is they basically style themselves as an actual publishing house rather than just like a press.
Yeah.
And so then they'll get in touch with you and say, give us money for all of these other things. So there's this website called Writer Beware that this author named Victoria Strauss, who's also a lawyer, runs. And she has built a running list of more than 200 firms that she alleges are fraudulent. Wow. And I scrolled through and there's like all these email addresses, all these domain names. And it's like, if you get something from this, like it is fake.
Are they just variations? Are they like, like Scheinman and Seister? Like, is it like variations on that, or publishing house, or does it just have like what's the vibe on those names?
Well, there are some that are doing that, but there's also like, because of this whole self-publishing thing, there's this whole category of services called author services, where they cater specifically to people who self-publish and say like, hey, your book is really good. Let us represent you and do all of this stuff. But they're not literary agents. Literary agents would not ask you for money. Like, we work in entertainment. Like,
when you start having to, like, guys, never, if you have to put money into your own creative endeavors, understand what that means. Like,
right. Like, if you're giving money to an agent to be represented by them, like, that is a scam. Like, the way that all of this works is they get a percentage of the work they bring you, not that you have to pay them.
Yeah.
So...
Yeah, there's gonna be times where you do have to invest your own money for certain endeavors if you're doing something creative, like trying to be a writer or whatever. It's like the shit. These can be expensive parts of your life, but understand
you gotta get screenwriting software. You gotta, there's stuff you might have to do, but paying an agent.
That ain't one of them. Yeah, so and all the shit that they're like, oh, for marketing and promotion, ask yourself the question: could I do that by myself? Because that's so many. I used to pay people to make flyers really early on. I'd pay this guy like $30, and I was like, what the fuck am I doing? Just learn that. Yeah. So there's that.
So they, like, this author services thing, it's sort of this gray area where like a lot of people are like, this is all scam. Like, everybody is scamming, even if they are not necessarily doing something illegal. They are exploiting people, and they're not, like, it's a waste of money. It's sort of, I feel like it's sort of in the category of like bringer shows on a grand scale, where it's like, it's not allowed, but it is a scam.
Yeah,
Like you
yeah.
are ripping people off, you know? So a lot of people feel that way about author services, but there are also more and less fraudulent versions of it. So a bunch of these, like most of the ones on Writer Beware that people can figure out, are based in Cebu, Philippines. It's a city. I don't know if I'm pronouncing it right. I apologize. It's like it's sort of like where you go before you go off to like all the beautiful beaches and stuff. It's kind of like your
Okay, like
set off point
an
for
airport city, like an entry point into the country.
yeah, it's like it is a big city, but it's not like it before this kind of stuff, it was tourism
Yeah,
was the thing there.
it's the
Um
doorknob of the Philippines. Some might say. I think a lot of people say that.
I think they would say that. Yeah, not as romantic as the gateway. It's the
Yeah,
doorknob.
yeah, the doorknob. Just a guy, dude who's just bad at his travel agent business. Like, this is why I'm gonna call it doorknob to Norway, and it's just like there's could be doorway.
So the reason they're all based in Cebu is because there was a huge author services company based there called Author Solutions LLC, which had an estimated annual revenue of $100 million.
Shit.
It's technically an American company. It's like many things on this show, owned by a venture capital firm bought from a private equity billionaire
Yeah.
based in Ohio. So you know they're doing some great stuff.
So fucking
you know?
cool they figured that out, man. Like that was, what a win for everybody.
Yeah. And then, of course, in order to make this profitable for the private equity billionaire and the venture capital firm, they outsourced all of their labor to Cebu in the Philippines. So, Author Solutions is in this gray area where like they are constantly hounded by accusations of exploitation and preying on authors and things like that. There was a class action lawsuit that they got dismissed. There was another lawsuit against them that they settled out of court, but they're always trying to dodge these accusations,
Yeah.
and they're still going. But it's such a big company that it trained all of these people in the Philippines in this kind of work, and then they went off and started their own versions that are
Oh.
not as careful about hewing
Yeah,
to the letter of the
yeah,
law
yeah.
and are even more kind of obviously ripping people off.
Yeah,
So.
this is back when sham publishing houses used to mean something. You know?
Right. They're taking our good name
Yeah.
as scammers. So, yeah, a lot of people in sort of like real publishing hate this stuff, think it's all a total scam. But Author Solutions really like taught their ways to all of
Yeah.
these other people, and that's kind of how all of this started.
Do you
So
think anyone actually reads the submissions, or does that even matter?
I think so it's interesting because like there do seem to be some actual services provided, and one of them that they talk about is like there are people doing editing.
Word.
So, but
Some poor soul in the Philippines having to read like a fantasy novel from like a 7th grade teacher.
well, the thing is like they are doing editing, but it's like the people doing the editing are not native English speakers, and the quality of the editing is not how they make their money. So
Oh,
I
man.
don't think it's very like good
Yeah.
editing. And then they also like they offer graphic design and stuff, and like they do that.
I
But
got my
I don't
manuscript back a lot more dance numbers than I remember being. This is the sensibility and tone has changed. It
It's
feels-
quite different. Yeah. So I'll give you an example of sort of how they operate. So the big there's a couple examples in the article. It's a very lengthy article, and the author Brent Crane does a lot of like on the ground reporting, and some of it is like very action movie, and like it's pretty
Oh, sick.
it's pretty cool. We're not going to get into all of it just, for the sake of brevity, but definitely go check out that article if you're interested. But one guy they talk about right at the beginning is this guy, Kevin Detler, who I feel like is exactly the type of person we were describing, who like sort of self-publishes as like a vanity project,
Yeah.
because he's like this older guy. He's a farmer in South Dakota. He has a very successful corn and soybean farm, and then he summers in Maricopa County, Arizona, where he owned a steakhouse. So,
Damn.
successful dude.
Yeah.
he and his wife would like winter in Arizona and then go run the farm. And he loves to hunt. This guy loves to hunt. And he said, when like with my friends and stuff, whenever I told stories, like hunting stories, people would be like, you should write a book. This is
Yeah.
fantastic. And so he did. And he's an older guy, retired, just like, I'm gonna put all these hunting stories like pen to paper. And he wrote a book, which I guess there's something called the North American Super Slam, which is a big game hunting award. Let me look up. I bet I could figure out what that is.
He's also an
What do you
amateur
win?
wrestler.
Yeah, right. That's his finisher.
Yeah.
So the North American Super Slam requires hunting 29 different big game animals. So you have to kill 29 different species. Make your impact on the ecosystem in order to win.
That's so cool. I'm not a big hunter guy. I never really was. I just that's 29 animals. Shit. All right.
I mean, it is kind of cool.
Yeah,
so you have to kill a black, a grizzly, an Alaskan brown, and a polar bear, a mountain lion, a whitetail. There are a bunch of deers you have to kill, an elk, a caribou, a moose, a bovine, so I guess a bison, a goat, an antelope, and a couple types of sheep.
That's wild.
Yeah. It would be a good book. Someone talking about it.
That would be an interesting book. Yeah. The polar bear thing is nuts because how do you even make that happen?
Yeah, I mean, this is for rich people.
Yeah,
This is for rich people who can like travel to all these places.
Fucking polar bear on Quaaludes. They just lower the helicopter and he just takes like 8 shots.
Absolutely. I think that's what's happening here. But Detler writes a book, and it's called Hunting: You've Got to Be Kidding. That's cute.
This guy's fun.
Yeah, he's a good time. So he goes to one of these author services companies and they do the printing on demand, which obviously costs some money, but he gets upsold, editing and marketing and things like that. And they, this costs quite a bit of money and people are very pushy salespeople. And depending on what they're promising and what they're offering, sometimes the what they're sold is not really what they get.
Oh, yeah. Kind of stuff. Man, I wonder if he's also just being like a polite South Dakotan listening to a Philippine sales rep on the phone and going, yes, okay, all right, yes, ma'am, we can do that too. just agreeing to everything just to get that part done, not fully understanding what's going on. Well,
he spent a bunch of money to promote this book online because these people told him to do it.
Yeah.
And like, so this is the part that like the Author Solutions did where it's like, this kind of stuff isn't technically illegal. It's just like you got sold poor quality stuff because you didn't do your research or whatever. But so he worked with a company like that was operating a little more within the lines, but he felt like it was kind of a waste of money. It was this company called Letra Press LLC. He worked with them. But then a few years later, he gets an email from the literary agent he worked with at Letra Press who says, hey, I now work for a competitor company called Pageturner, and I remember your book from back then, and I think it has potential. So I thought I'd get back in touch.
He's like, hunting? You got to be kidding me? He's like, no, I'm not kidding you. I really enjoyed it. He doesn't even remember the
title. Why would I kid you? I'm not kidding you.
Yeah. Hey, I'm your friend.
So he says, let's put in a little money to promote this, and a major publisher will definitely be coming. By the way, I know you used to call me Tim Nola, but I've changed my name, and now I'm Ray Ross. Call me Ray Ross.
Always the best way to enter any sales interaction is when the salesman's like, oh, hey, by the way, it's Ray Ross now.
Right.
Cut out the Tim Nola.
Right.
Put that out the pasture.
An assumed name is never a good way to start.
This is before you open a door and let somebody in, you go, by the way, it ain't Pat in here, okay? Yeah, they call me Maverick in these parts, so just remember Maverick and just walk in.
So this gets worse, as you might imagine. Detler says, he's like, I should have known something was fishy, but like I saw dollar signs, like,
yeah.
I got the excitement about this book, maybe getting some press and stuff. So Ray Ross, as he is now known, starts calling him like every day to sell him more stuff. He's really pushy.
Yeah.
And so he says he gives $15,000 to get an ad. He said he was sold a full page ad in the New York Times book review for $15,000. But he ended up it was one of 16 books on the page in the actual ad. And nobody called him
a full page ad. You're like, well, I mean, more or less. But
the ad is a full page of a bunch of different stuff. That 16 books, we got $15,000 from their authors each.
There's 8 books. There's an air fryer in this motherfucker.
Yeah.
This is insane. They got a Nintendo Switch. I guess that's actually a good price. This is a Tim Robinson ass plot line.
It is. It's so Tim Robinson, and it's gonna get so much worse, dude. It's gonna get so much worse.
It really is me, man. That's crazy.
This really is like the sketch where they're doing the songs.
Yeah.
It's like stop convincing middle-aged men that they could be stars.
He didn't trick me. I am a star, Yeah.
Right. God, every single one of these people has that. He didn't trick me. I am a star. We'll hear about another guy later who he just gets absolutely rolled, and it's because he believes he's a star. He believes he's a star. So anyway, he also gives them $11,000 to record an audiobook. Which he said he found
Maricopa's going to be a little light this year, darling.
Yeah.
Arizona's not going to be a walk in the park as it usually is.
He said he wasn't happy with the results. And he tells Ross that he's done paying for stuff. And Ross calls him, quote, a coward and worthless.
Oh, that's fantastic.
Just immediately pivoting to abusive because he won't give you tens of thousands of dollars.
You worthless coward.
Yep. I guess you just don't believe in your book then, huh? You've got to be kidding me.
Yeah. I feel like I was the one that got kid in this whole thing. You know what I'm saying? Like, I feel like you was kidding me the whole time. I thought I had somebody to believe in themselves and believe in the project we were working on. Man, dude, there's only a way that somebody who I know is using a fake name can talk to me. And it reaches a certain degree where, like, all right, look, all this shit's off the table as it is.
I'm not giving them more. I'm certainly not giving them 5 figures. The guy using a fake name.
I don't know. I just think my hunting book's not selling. You're a worthless coward. Do you hear yourself? That's incredible.
Well, I have bad news, Pat. It's about to get worse for this guy because despite being called a coward and worthless, he gets reeled back in.
Carrot and stick.
Yep, exactly. Yeah. So Pageturner says to Detler, look, McGraw-Hill, which is a big academic publisher, wants to purchase the rights to your book for $500,000, but we need to raise your profile because they need to see that it's in bookstores already. Yeah. So give us, he gives them about $40,000 for different ads for this to meet McGraw-Hill's demands. He also gives $14,000 for someone to adapt his book into a screenplay.
Oh no. What did he think was happening here? A screenplay.
It's gonna get so much worse.
Is the book humorous in tone? Is it is it trying to be like
I don't know. I don't know anything about it besides the name.
Yeah, you gotta be kidding me. Which is hilarious. I wonder when he heard movie, I wonder if he was like who he had in mind, who he wanted to play him. And the thing,
So Amazon says it's a humorous and emotional story of his endeavor to achieve the North American Grand Slam. It has a 3.3 review on Amazon.
Out of 15.
it has a bunch of 5s and then one 1 star. I feel like it's probably his friends given the 5s, but who knows?
It's Ray Ross doing the 1 star. Cowardly, worthless storytelling.
So he says he never gets the screenplay, but the ads do run. So he does get the ads.
Yeah.
But then he later finds out that the ads were like $10,000 less each than what he was told. So they soaked him, but never fear, Pat, because Pageturner comes to him with the wonderful news that they want to adapt his hunting memoir into a docuseries with Netflix. Netflix is
Oh,
interested.
this is it, man. This is it, dude. You got
This is
Netflix in
it.
on this shit, dude. They've never made a single mistake, and that is the brand. That's the assurance that you can get from the Netflix brand is zero missteps.
Yep.
Yeah.
They say they're going to pay $1.3 million for the rights, but he has to fund the writing of a new screenplay and some pre-production stuff, which is going to cost $100,000.
Oh no!
They're aiming higher and higher with this guy.
Damn.
They're raising the stakes every time. Like every time it's more money, more money.
Yeah, dude. Like that. This is masterwork on these guys' parts. Like this is the man. They should write a fucking book and publish it themselves because they're good. But like this, yeah, it's crazy. The luring on this, like I said, masterful work. But what is like. What do you think happens? I guess that's the thing is like you can see it right there in the book that he's writing. He doesn't know about this shit, you know. Like he's just I'm just a hunter, you know, and I got some interesting, funny tales.
Owns a steakhouse and grows corn. Yeah. He doesn't know about the publishing industry.
Man, this dude they literally like he is a 10-point buck to them. They're just
they're hunting him for sure.
Yeah.
And so then he talks him down a little bit. He sends him $86,000. They're like, great. He probably feels like, oh, I got a deal.
Yeah. Shit, you gotta get up pretty early in the morning to get one over on your boy. I can knock him down to 86, 8,600, 86,000. Right?
But then they say, because they have him on a contract for 2 more books he hasn't written yet, and they say, in order to fund the screenplays for the books you haven't written yet, we need 120,000 more.
Shit.
So then he sends them 120,000 more.
Oh no! You ain't got to pay anybody to write books. You wrote the book for free the first fucking time.
Right. Well, they're like, oh well, you know, they bought the option of all these books, including ones you haven't written yet.
Boy, I got some great news for you, buddy. You want to sit down for this? We are gonna give you the opportunity to pay us $130,000
right, to write another book.
Oh man, what a sucker, man. That dude is just getting milked, bro. Yeah, they're not even hunting him. Hunting is the wrong term because he's not a noble beast. This dude is
they're milking him.
They're milking him. He's not allowed to develop muscle mass. He's never. They cut off his beak. Because you can't eat beaks. You don't need beaks. You know? This dude's getting factory farm fucking milked, bro. This is insane.
Absolutely. Yeah. And I feel so bad because, like, again, this is like an old guy, right? And he says, like, part of what convinced him this was real was he was getting all this paperwork from them. Yeah. That was full of all this, like, legalese and, like, budget breakdowns and stuff. Like, for the show.
You still own a printer. Fucking half the global population's yours, dog. You know, like, you're just like,
well, and he also says, like, look, they sent over the contracts with DocuSign, and I get why that would trick a 7-year-old.
Yeah. You can't. That's how he bought the lease to his fucking steakhouse was on DocuSign. You know, like
Yeah. It's what real people use, and it's like, well, yeah, but it's you can upload whatever to it. It doesn't, you know. Anyway, by 2 years later, he has made zero money on this, but they're still stringing him along. They're like, they have put him in touch with a fraudulent like film production company at this point that says they're like a subsidiary of Pageturner called Metro Films, and they're like, look, everything's in place, but they won't finalize the deal because you're still such an unknown author. So we need like. They're raising your option fee. They say they're like, look, Netflix is now going to pay you $7 million, which makes no sense. Why would they raise the option fee but not sign it? They're like, you're going to get $7 million, but we need to raise your profile a little bit. So give me $200,000 for a team of publicists, and we'll be off to the races. And that he does it again.
No,
he has given these people north of $500,000.
That's insane.
You could buy a house for that.
Yeah, you could buy a fucking house. You could buy a publishing house. I know you couldn't do that. You could buy a house with a printer in it, which is what they have. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Look what they've done with it.
Yeah. Look what they've done with it. Absolutely.
This is like the pressure cooker shit. Like when you are scrapping and your back against the wall, this is all you just need some toner.
A printer, a dream, and some dumb rich white people. That's what you need.
Bro, yeah, this guy is just like this is like when like Tyson fought Jake Paul. Like he's just watching, you're like, come on, man, you gotta do something. He's like just getting fucking binked left and right, and it's sad. It's sad to watch.
It is sad. It's really because like this could have just been like a fun thing for people who knew him. He was initially just selling this book in his steakhouse. Like it was like a cute, like, because in his steakhouse, he had all of his big game trophies. Like he had all of them taxidermy. They were all in the steakhouse. So it was like a cute thing.
That's a shame.
Yeah, he just hooked up with the wrong people to print it, and they pressed him for all this money. And he was somebody who happened to have it.
Yeah.
And I mean, that's got to be his inheritance, his retirement.
Yeah.
He took out a bunch of loans against the farm. So like he has debts. Like it sucks, man.
Damn, he's got to raise the prices at the steakhouse, I bet.
Yeah. For real.
Yeah. Hey man, y'all gotta quit throwing these peanuts on the floor. I can't pay this dude to fucking sweep him up all night. Like I gotta cut him.
Yeah, we gotta make some layoffs here.
Peanuts stay in the fucking bucket.
Steaks.
Yeah. He's right there cooking. They fucking him up. He's all stressed about his book deal. Oh man. Hey, he just turns to one of the guys. You gotta be kidding me. You know,
Well, there is a very good detail at the end that he is now writing a book about this whole experience.
Okay, there you go.
And it's called Publishing. You gotta be kidding me.
This dude knows the brand.
Yep.
Bro, I hope we can give this guy the bump. We
Go check out his hunting book. He seems like a nice enough guy. Poor guy.
Yeah. The fucking Publishing, you got to be kidding me. That's hilarious. And also, if you are a author services company out there in the Philippines, you have the opportunity to do the funniest thing of all time.
Well, there is a story in here about a similar somebody who gets got twice in a way that you're like, come on, man.
I'm going to the publishing company across town. Like, all right, the guy just slides the phone across the table, and he's like, "Hey, it's a company across town. How you doing?" Yep.
That's pretty much what happens. But I want to talk a little bit about Pageturner first, which is a company that fucked this guy over so bad. So it is a subsidiary of an outsourcing company called Innocentrics Philippines, which I like that they were like, innocent, it's in the name. We're not doing anything bad.
Innocentric. It sounds like a technology company whose prime goal is to be like, we have no criminal culpability in anything.
Right.
Here at Innocentric, we are forward thinking and also have nothing to do with anything that's going on.
Exactly. Our hands are clean. That's our motto. So the company was founded by a guy named Michael Cristrea Sordia, and he had a business partner named Brian Navales Tarosa. I believe they were in a relationship, at least at one point. They were in a relationship. But they were both, after, like, Detler alerted the FBI to this, and they actually ended up arresting these two guys for this fraud. So both of them had worked at Author Solutions, that big company owned by the venture capital firm.
Yeah.
They had worked there before going out on their own and starting Pageturner. So that's kind of where they learned the tricks of the trade. The U.S. Department of Justice has charged them with pilfering a total of $44 million from more than 800 writers by employing social engineering techniques to extract money under fraudulent pretenses. So just like pressing them like that, you know, that's social engineering. So former employees estimate their actual earnings were north of $100 million. And keep in mind, there are tons of different author services firms doing this. So like the revenue of that whole scam industry is hundreds of millions of dollars.
Wow.
You know, like they're soaking people.
Shit.
So, Sordia claims that this was bad actors within the company and they have nothing to do with it, but it seems like that is probably not true. So Sordia he grew up poor in Cebu. As we said, you grow up poor, your head's on a swivel,
Yeah,
you're
yeah.
looking for opportunity. And he was a total hustler. He as a kid, he sold fruit and water bottles on the street. He was in his high school, he had a digital camera and no one had smartphones, and so he would charge his classmates for pictures.
Oh yeah,
Like, he
that's
was a
smart.
little hustler,
Yeah,
So he was poor, but he had an aunt who married an American Navy man in San Diego who paid for him to go to college. Um, he That's where he met Terosa, and the article says, quote, at some point they developed a romantic relationship. Um, so he works at in 2015 he gets hired at Ex Libris, which is part of Author Solutions. Um, and it's interesting, these kinds of jobs there, these outsourced jobs in the Philippines, they work at night because that's business hours in the
yeah,
US. So they work from 9 p.m. to 6 a.m. Um, and the signature package at this company was $15,700, and it offered book design, website creation, and other services. So they were doing this stuff. It's
yeah,
just that they were extremely overpriced, like
yeah,
extremely
yeah,
overcharging for the work. Um, so the people there worked on commission, so they would get a 3% commission. And this $15,700 is like about 3 times the annual salary of the people working in these places.
yeah.
So, a commission is chunky. It's a big deal.
Wow, man, I, I wonder like how much of the world goes to work from 9 p.m. to 6 a.m. because it's
Because
all
of
about
us.
because of Western business hours and shit.
Yeah.
Probably a
I mean,
lot.
I certainly a lot of people in the Philippines, probably a lot of people in India.
Yeah.
Um, sorry.
Yeah,
Sorry,
yeah,
guys.
yeah, yeah, my bad, dog. My game doesn't work. I don't know, like, I don't know what to tell you, man.
So in 2017, he'd been there for about 2 years, and he was like, I think I know how to do this. I'm going to start
Yeah.
my own company. And that's when he starts Pageturner. He registers it in his aunt's name in San Diego so they can do like business in America and everything. Um, he poaches a bunch of people from Author Solutions. He offers them really big commissions, 30 to 50%,
Wow.
and they bring their client lists from their
Oh,
previous
yeah.
firms and so that's probably why the hunting guy got the call, right? Because he
Yeah.
got poached.
Yeah, from the other, yeah. Come,
Mhm.
bring me your prize hogs. They're
Right.
just parading all their little succulent little American wannabe authors in there.
Mhm.
Oh, what a meat market! That's grim, dude.
Yeah, man, grim stuff. But again, can't say we don't kind of deserve
Yeah,
it.
yeah, yeah, yeah. It's just all about like it's just a very like a guy as somebody who has pursued a creative, career. Like you look at that
Sure.
and you're like, yeah, like we talk about this whenever it's entertainment scams. It's like I could completely understand, not like maybe doing this because I'm not I don't even have the money, so fuck it. I'm not gonna say I'm not an idiot. These people aren't idiots, but I also don't have the bread to do that. But I can understand the motivations 100%. So it is just very sad to think about all of them just getting ushered into this fucking killing room floor.
Yeah, I mean, I don't begrudge these people it at all because we're exactly the same way. But like, you can make a lot of money off of American narcissism,
Yeah,
off of all of our feeling that people need to hear what we have to
yeah,
say.
yeah,
Like,
yeah,
you
dude.
can milk us for a lot of money based on our belief in that.
Yeah, I think like the podcast equipment company, and no shade over here, but just like I've bought podcast equipment, like
Sure.
that just that industry, the way it blew up because we were just like people want to hear what I have to say.
People need to know.
Yeah.
People need to know what I'm thinking about. Yeah. No, and we've staked our whole adult lives on it,
Yeah.
and we should get made fun of for
Yeah,
that.
yeah,
We
yeah, yeah.
should.
Clown the fuck out of us.
People should make fun of us for that. Anyway, yeah. So by 2020, Innocentrics employed some 4 dozen people across sales, production, and human resources. The sales agents would recruit people, and then there were people that worked in the editing and the marketing and things like that. But the ultimate goal was always to float these fake movie deals at them or
Yeah.
fake publishing deals. So at first they would offer you ostensibly real but overpriced services.
Yeah.
And then when you went for that, they'd say, Netflix wants to buy this,
Yeah.
and then
So, able to have that veneer of believability up, is there some sort of criterion? Like, if somebody is just like, hey, I want to self-publish this, and it's, it's a furry novel, and it's about everybody like fucking in a Holiday Inn or just some crazy stuff, and then they go, hey, Netflix wants to make some movie, and the person's like, I don't think that's true, because there is a lot. I'm thinking you guys didn't read this, because there is a full-blown orgy for the entire middle of the second act. So, like, that
I mean,
right.
I'd imagine a lot of people recognize that these are scams.
Yeah,
and that is probably part of why, where they're like, this has a niche audience. I don't think Netflix wants this.
I bet the Netflix, if you get the Netflix one, that's like, I've worked in sales, that has to be like the fucking golden goose, where you slap that shit up on a board and you're like, I got the fucking Netflix guy, I got the Netflix guy. Because like, you throw that in there because, if people are fucking, that's like the quintessential. All the ingredients have to be right. The person has to have the money and all that. If you get the Netflix deal, I bet drinks were on you that night.
Yeah, I think so. And they were doing really well. Like, the top sellers at the firm were netting $100,000 or more each month. The books they took on ranged from sci-fi and romance novels to memoirs and children's books. And the better your sales, you would get promoted. So you would get like better leads the better you did. Real Glengarry, Glen Ross.
You get the Glengarry leads. It's a guy named Glenn and a guy named Gary.
Exactly.
Yeah. Glenn owns a vape shop in Tucson, and Gary's a retired Marine. Dude, that's like, man, so the movie, this really has like Wolf of Wall Street vibes as well to it. I really like that.
The article brings up that the vibe is very Wolf of Wall Street.
Oh, so they're having fun.
They're having fun.
Oh, that's cool. I like that. I also think if there was a movie, would the movie be Wolf of Wall Street style, or would it be this guy is a scam publisher guy, but he gets the one where he goes, this one's actually good. Like, I want to make this.
He
one.
like loves the one where he's like, I'm gonna put my resources toward this one for real.
Yeah. I bet that would be a fun angle on that.
I mean, we'll get to it, but one of these guys kind of pitches that to a guy to scam him.
Yeah, that's
to be like, I was a scammer, but this one's real.
Yeah. This one got me. I love how the second act is an orgy.
Yeah. But yeah, so these guys, they're buying fancy watches, they're having parties on yachts.
Yes.
Sordia starts a construction company and builds a big resort, because remember, this is like kind of near all the resort areas of the Philippines. So he's diversifying, he's making all this money. He does a very Trump move and purchases a beauty pageant that happens in the Philippines.
So these guys they're making, like, that's insane. This is like, this is the kind of money where once the fall comes, you think you might be able to insulate yourself from it, because now you're a fucking resort owner.
Right. Yeah.
Like you can't, like, I'm a resort owner. What are you gonna do? Like, okay, my bad, I did the fake publishing shit, but it feels like you can buy yourself to a level of just immunity from this.
Yeah. I mean, I think you could, if the FBI didn't come arrest you. The FBI doesn't care about the economy of the Philippines.
There you go.
I think maybe it would insulate them from Filipino law enforcement.
Yeah.
And certainly, look, we're recording this on a big Epstein file drop day.
Yeah. Oh yeah. It's Epstein file drop day is fucking wild.
Yeah. I mean, there've been a couple, but this one was a lot of emails. It was a big one.
Yeah.
And like, if they were here, they could probably have insulated themselves from
100%.
From this. I mean, fucking Trump, Robert Durst. If you own buildings, they let you do a lot of stuff.
Like, we need those things, man. We do stuff inside the buildings. Like, it's a delicate balance with the building owner,
But yeah, they're really living it up. This is a weird detail. Everything else about this is like, it's parties, it's yachts, it's fun. But then I guess this is like kind of very Wolf of Wall Street in like a weird way. But they would, Sordia would, quote, hold a strange kind of staff beauty contest, demanding that male employees compete for leads by dressing in women's clothes and strutting their stuff for outside judges. Last place had to buy the whole office lunch for 2 weeks.
The ugliest guy has to buy lunch.
Yep.
he's like, well, it's not just about looks, it's about talent and just really he's
Right,
different. He's like,
charisma.
it's about charisma. There's a bathing suit, but there's also a talent portion. So
Right.
yeah, like you, if you buy that lunch, you earned it, is what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Also, when you said you'd have staff beauty pageants, I was like, oh, like typical dudes getting all the ladies out there, but I forgot he's in a relationship with that guy at some point. Yeah. So he was just like, yeah, fellas, get out here.
Fellas, yeah, show us what you got. So basically what would end up happening is eventually somewhere along the line, the authors would realize this is a scam. I've been ripped off. And they would demand to get their money back, and then they would just, get ghosted. They would often go to that website, Writer Beware, and write reviews, or they'd go to the Better Business Bureau. And then some would call the FBI, which is what Dettler did. He got in touch with the FBI, and in the summer of 2025, I believe it was like fairly recent when this was published, they did arrest those two guys. Dettler hasn't gotten any money back, but he's like, at least they're going to jail.
Yeah.
I can imagine the South Dakota and Maricopa County, Arizona guy, probably big law enforcement fan, is my guess.
Yeah.
So he's happy that justice is being served.
Yeah.
There was another guy who, this guy, he goes by a pseudonym in the article. And he has a very interesting story because he actually, without the help of law enforcement, was able to get a bunch of his money back. He took Pageturner to court, and he got $130,000 of his money back with the help of a good lawyer. And then he also had help from a former employee of Pageturner.
Yeah, that's what you're going to need at that point.
Yeah, you need like an inside person.
The guy who lost the beauty pageant.
Yeah, exactly. He was sick of buying lunch for everybody. He's like, I'm going to figure this out. But so this is the story, right? So he gets $130,000 of his money back from this case that he has, and he immediately gives $50,000 of it to the guy who helped them, who used to work at Pageturner.
Yeah.
Who said, look, I want to go legit now. I'm done with scamming. I love your book. Let me promote it.
Like he has connections to legitimate publishing.
Right.
Yeah.
All he's ever done is scam. It's not like he knows anything real about publishing. He doesn't know what he wanted at Netflix. He made all that up.
Yeah. This is like real scorpion frog territory over here.
Yes. Exactly. It's scorpion frog territory all the way down.
And this is like, also, like we said, this is like such a critique of just like the creative type.
Yes.
It's like,
Yep. No, it's the insistence. And like, we were just talking about this on What a Time to Be Alive too. And like, I don't mean it as a judgment on these people, because we think it too. But like, at the end of the day, like, you do, in order to try to monetize your creativity, you kind of have to believe you're special.
Yeah.
And like, and if that, like, if somebody can find a way to credibly appeal to that belief, they can really take advantage of you.
Yeah.
And like, that's why it's important to, make sure you're around people who keep you humble, because we all have a little bit of a narcissistic tendency about us. And,
what I love about loved about Austin comedy was like fucking, when people would try to come in and they were grifters, they immediately got it shouted the hell down in the online hall. It was so great. There was the guy asking for $25 submission fees for the festival in Waco, and he's not that bad of a guy. But like, I know the guy personally. He's cool. But at that time, everybody was just like, no, you're not going to hit up Austin Comics for like money to do your Waco festival. And then the other guy showed up and tried to run that paid mic where you pay to go to your mic in the middle of the afternoon, and he was like, this is so common in New York and LA, and it was like, yeah, what are you here, buddy? Like, we're in fucking Austin. And he just got clowned mercilessly for having the paid mic. And
we never really let that stuff fly. We were pretty protective about it, and also like, anybody who was, which I think is a good and a bad thing about old Austin comedy, but if you were too much of a hustler, people thought you were kind of lame.
Yeah, that was a thing. That was like you're trying to hit the road. I caught a few strokes of that brush because I'd be in the valley doing shows and shit. And people were like, oh, He's gonna go down
No,
there.
and
Yeah.
I don't think that's necessarily a good thing. And it is part of why I moved out of Austin, because I was like, I think I need to be around people who are more ambitious.
Yeah. What sucks
But
is
then I realized I don't really like being around ambitious people. They're like not that fun.
I like the art. I've said this before about Austin comedy, old Austin. I was like, I like the art that disaffected stoners that don't give a shit make. I like when they finally get off their ass and make the thing. I'm always like, damn, that's good. But like, you know, like but the fact is like it took you 3 years to do that or whatever the case may be.
Right.
What do you see?
Well,
people,
it's a very like privileged attitude to be like, how dare you try to make money off this? It's like, well, you already, like, if your parents pay your rent, you can think that way. You know what I mean? Like, it's, So there's pros and cons, but I do think that we were very allergic to anybody who was kind of bullshitting and wanted to exploit people in that way.
100%.
And, because you can make money doing that, because you can appeal to that equality in people. And but anyway, he gets him. He's like, look, I'm going legit. I want your book to be my first project. He gives him $50,000. It's for a romantic sci-fi novel.
That's
classic.
That seems to be the fucking the moneymaker.
The bread and butter.
People want to bang these aliens, dude. Like, run with it or run from it, bro. I don't know what to tell you.
So, he like meets with this guy. He meets people who are purporting to be the editor and the illustrator and all this stuff. And then he gets the work back and it absolutely sucks. It's like terrible, shoddy work. He cancels the book. And then the informant guy starts sort of indirectly threatening him and saying like,
you fucking coward.
He doesn't go that right. He's like, look, Pageturner is going to come after you. Like, I'm telling you this as a friend. They're going to come after you. So this guy's like totally paranoid, right? But then he pulls exactly the same scam on him. It's the guy who's, the former Pageturner worker.
Yeah.
He pretends to be a guy named John Sachi who works at a production company called 5 More Minutes, which I love as a scam name, because it's like, no, just a little more.
5
just
more
a
minutes
little
of your
more.
time. 5 more minutes of your time, and I'll be out of your life forever. All right. Yeah. If you don't like what I have to say, I will be out that door and never come back. 5 more minutes.
He pulls literally the same scam on him where he says, we want to adapt this into a TV series. You just need to give us money. And the guy fucking falls for it.
God
he
damn
falls for it. You just went through a lawsuit about this exact thing.
You idiot. That's like, I can't even feel sorry for this guy.
Frog and Scorpion, dude.
Yeah,
Frog and Scorpion.
Again, like some Tim Robinson shit where he's just like, I'm going over to 5 more minutes. They're gonna give me a huge deal. It's just like,
exactly.
Dude, like, you fucking moron. It's just, man, it's people fucking aliens. I would imagine, just write that and be happy, dude. Post it on a blog or some shit.
Do it for yourself.
Do it for yourself. Yeah, look, if you can't crank it to your own writing, who can? Exactly. I've said that 4 times today in unrelated scenarios.
So then they get him doing what he realizes pretty quickly is money laundering, where it's like, we're going to send you this wire transfer and then you have to send it to someone else for the TV pre-production stuff. And he's like, okay, now I know this is money laundering. He learns around this time that a bunch of bank accounts have been opened in his name. He's like, shit's really...
God damn. They went in for this is the guy you just had testify for you in court.
Yeah.
You got $130,000, and now all of that's back to him, and you're fucking worse off than you were when you started. Your lawyer got his cut. He's moving on down the road. That's just, man, this guy doesn't deserve to have money. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, he's like, clearly, I think it's better for the big picture that people went and got this shit out of his hands. Let's go ahead and.
Well, I feel like that's probably what these people in the Philippines are thinking is like, these people don't know how to have money. They don't know how to have money. We know how to have money better. So you should give it to us.
I just really want you to think about this, man, as I close. Before I close this phone call out, which will be the last time I ever answer your call, I want to say, bud, you need to get it together. All right.
So the guy who wrote this article, Brent Crane, he's shocked, but the scammer of this author agreed to meet with him and he
Yeah.
interviewed him. And so he went to the Philippines and he interviewed this guy. And first of all, he self-describes himself as a phone terrorist. So he knows he's a huge piece of shit.
Oh, shit. Hey, you and my ex. Hey.
So he's like openly confessing to a bunch of stuff, but he's also lying about a bunch of stuff. Like, because the guy who wrote this article has interviewed a ton of people, and he's like saying, the guy is saying stuff where he's like, I know that's not true.
He's like, damn, you interviewed a ton of people all over the world? That's really interesting. You ever thought about writing a book about your fucking experiences?
Well, the article is fascinating. I'm not going to go into it because it is kind of a separate thing and we're almost out of time, but the guy does try to scam the journalist.
Yes.
Like
yes.
Because the journalist frames it as he's like, I don't understand why this guy is confessing all this stuff and why he agreed to meet with me. And then it sort of dawns on him that he's like, oh, I'm the mark. Yeah. That's why he's meeting with me. I'm the mark. And there's like this whole thing where he like lures him into this sort of compromising position where he's like, oh, my driver's going to deliver some documents, but like we need to pay the delivery fee. And then like, if you could come out to this car and get the documents. And the guy's like, I know something's happening here, but like.
And it sounds like the fact that all this shit you was doing before is over the phone. And now you got a real life human body on your hands. Who the fuck knows what your imagination's going to come up with? No, I'm staying in this hotel. I'm drinking fucking Mai Tais.
So the guy, he kind of goes along with it a little bit, like partially just to sort of see what's going to happen. But then, like, he basically strong arms him for money, and they're like, "Okay, we're gonna leave the Philippines a little early. We're gonna go
wrap it up. We are done here. We're gonna go ahead and just get on out, man."
Exactly. So there's so much documentation that needs to be gone through for this criminal case against these two guys. So they're probably not going to go to trial for like another few months. Like it's not going to be resolved anytime soon. But they did get these guys. As I said, like Sordia's lawyers are just saying like this is, people who are acting on their own in bad faith and not to our company's ethos or whatever. But again, like this would be a big deal if they actually got serious sentences because this happens so much. Yeah. And it's like the way that they prosecute these things is like these people usually just pay a fine. Like they go to jail for like a little time and that's it. So like the woman who runs that Writer Beware site says, quote, "I'm more cynical about these things because I've seen other law enforcement efforts fizzle out. I'm not super hopeful that these guys will go to jail, maybe a plea bargain, and they pay a big fine." So the article ends. In the meantime, Dettler plans to write about his own experience. The working title, Publishing. You've got to be kidding. So yes, go check out that article. It's called Author Services Firm Allegedly Scammed Writers for $44 million. It came out in July of 2025 in Bloomberg. It's by Brent Crane. So check that out.
Yeah, check that out. That's wild. Also, go check out Dettler on.
Hunting. You've got to be kidding. Yeah. Go check it out. He needs that money, man. Go buy the ebook.
Yeah. That dude, the steakhouse, bro. They're charging the fucking Bloomin' Onion is $48 now. He's trying to recoup it per pedal. Guys, thank you so much, Kath. That was amazing. That was fun as hell. I really enjoyed that one. Ride. What a world, guys. Thank you so much for listening or watching or tuning in. Like I said, we are dropping 2 episodes every month here on the free feed. You can also get 2 more episodes and access to our entire back catalog of bonus episodes and ad-free episodes on our Patreons, patreon.com/lie, cheat, and steal. Stop by and see us online. We're at TikTok, Instagram, and YouTube at LCS Podcast, and that's where you can find us. Kath, you got anything for us?
Follow me on Blue Sky and Instagram and TikTok. I'm Kath Barbadoro on everything. I have a show November 22nd at Friends and Lovers in Brooklyn. So come to that. It's called Open to Work Comedy.
Hell yeah. Actually, I'll be at the Velveeta Room on December 5th. I finally got some shows coming up. So go check that out if you're in Austin, Texas. That being said, guys, thank you so much for listening. I hope your November is settling up nicely and things are going good for you. Be safe, be smart, but above all, don't get caught.
Don't get caught. See you next time.